The city of Viridian was built into the side of a huge mountain, like a giant house on a cliff. Its tall, dark towers reached up to the sky, and they glowed with old magical symbols. This was the year 347, a time when old natural powers like wind and earth were starting to rumble deep underground. These powers could break the peace kept by the Aether Weavers, who were mages, magic users, who made sure these powers stayed balanced. In the lower, darker parts of Viridian lived Kaylin. She was a young woman who was good at opening tricky locks and also at drawing the stars. Kaylin was different. She had no family and grew up in the hidden paths under the city. She learned to survive using her cleverness and a special gift for understanding how machines worked. Her most valuable item was an old celestial compass made of brass. It was a gift from her grandfather, who people said was an Aether Weaver. This compass wasn't like normal ones. It didn't point north. Instead, it glowed softly and sometimes led her to secret spots or places with strange, buzzing energy. Kaylin wasn't looking for fame. She just wanted to find out what happened to her grandfather and understand the mysterious notes he left behind, which looked like parts of a star map. One rainy evening, Kaylin was trying to get back a client's stolen clock from a known thief. Her celestial compass suddenly started to glow a bright blue. It wasn't pointing to the clock, but to an old, broken part of the city wall that everyone said was cursed. Kaylin was very curious, so she followed the compass. Behind a loose stone, she didn't find treasure. Instead, she found a dry scroll tied with silver wire that felt warm. When her fingers touched the old symbols, a jolt of energy went through her, and the glowing symbols on Viridian's towers flickered. The scroll had a prophecy written in a language she just knew. When the dragon's breath freezes the sun and the serpent's eye looks for the center, only someone from the Starseer's family, led by the compass of starry fire, can wake the heart of Aether and stop the breaking. Kaylin felt a cold fear. The dragon's breath was a legend about a terrible ice age. The serpent's eye was the symbol of the Obsidian Cabal, a secret group that was said to worship wild, uncontrolled natural powers. This was no longer about her grandfather. It was about the future of Viridian and maybe the whole world. The first problem came quickly. The next morning, news spread through the city. The Azure Falls, Viridian's main water supply, had frozen completely overnight. This was impossible because the city had heaters deep underground. People started to panic. Kaylin, holding the scroll tightly, went to find Alara, an Aether Weaver who lived alone and was known for her strange ways. Alara also had a griffin named Zephyr as a pet. Alara, with her green eyes, knew the scroll right away. "The prophecy of the breaking," she whispered, sounding worried. "I've only heard whispers of it. The Obsidian Cabal is making a move. They want to upset the Aether Weaver's control and let loose the raw natural powers." Alara agreed to help, but warned Kaylin that the Cabal's reach was wide and their members were hidden everywhere. Their journey started with a risky trip through the Crystal Caves, which were glowing tunnels under the city where the frozen Azure Falls began. The Cabal had sent their elemental creatures, big, clumsy monsters made of ice and rock, to guard the deepest parts. Kaylin's quick thinking and understanding of how things worked, along with Alara's exact magic blast, helped them get through the dangerous tunnels. Inside, they found a huge glowing machine that was making the falls cold. A person in a dark cloak, a Cabal member, was operating it. They had a fierce fight. Kaylin, using a makeshift slingshot and hard crystal pieces, managed to break the machine, while Alara's magic tied up the attacker. They learned the Cabal's plan to mess up the Aether Weaver's balance of elements, causing chaos and letting the Serpent's Eye, a powerful old object, awaken. Their next clue led them to the Whispering Peaks, a faraway mountain range always covered in mist. This was home to the mysterious sky nomads. The sky nomads were known for their strong connection to the wind and their ability to see the future. They also didn't trust outsiders. Kaylin, using her knowledge of star patterns from her grandfather's notes, managed to figure out the sky nomads' complex navigation maps, which earned their trust. From their elder, an old woman named Lyra, they learned a sad truth. Kaylin's grandfather hadn't just disappeared. He had been an Aether Weaver who tried to stop the Serpent's Eye from appearing before. He had given his life to seal it away. He left the celestial compass, hoping his family would one day finish his job. Kaylin felt both sad and determined. The trip to the sunken city was full of danger. They crossed the shifting sands, a huge desert where illusions tricked the mind, and huge sandworms hunted underground. Kaylin's sense of direction and the compass's soft guidance helped them through the dangerous sand dunes. Alara's wind magic created temporary shields against the burning sandstorms. More Cabal agents chased them, including a strong shadow weaver who could control darkness. Kaylin remembered an old drawing in her grandfather's notes and realized the shadow weaver's weakness was strong light. She made a simple but effective mirror from polished dark stone, reflecting Alara's focused light spells and making the shadow weaver run away. Finally, they reached the edge of the Great Divide, where the sunken city was buried. The air felt alive with energy, and the celestial compass glowed brighter and brighter. Below, a pulsing black opening shimmered, the entrance to the sunken city. There, they faced Malachor, the main bad guy, the leader of the Obsidian Cabal. Malachor was a thin, tall figure with glowing green eyes holding a staff that sparked with wild elemental power. He revealed his goal, to unleash the Serpent's Eye, not to destroy, but to combine with its power and remake the world as he saw fit. He believed the Aether Weaver's control was wrong, that it stopped true power. The final battle was a desperate struggle inside the broken remains of the sunken city's main temple. Malachor, with the raw power of the elements, was a very strong enemy. He created floods of fire, earth, and lightning, pushing Kaylin and Alara to their limits. Alara, even though she was powerful, struggled to control Malachor's wild elemental attacks. Kaylin, understanding the truth of the prophecy, realized that her family's bloodline and the compass of starry fire were connected to the heart of Aether. The compass wasn't just a guide, it was a key. As Malachor prepared one last, terrible attack, Kaylin, guided by the compass's furious glowing, pushed it into a shimmering stone pillar in the temple center, the real heart of Aether. A blinding white light burst forth, filling the temple. The pillar pulsed with all the elemental energies of the world, and Kaylin felt a rush of her grandfather's spirit, a deep understanding. The celestial compass, now shining with bright starlight, matched the pillar, calming the wild energies Malachor had unleashed. Malachor screamed as his power fell apart, the raw elements he tried to control turning against him, swallowing him in his own storm. The Serpent's Eye, a huge emerald-like jewel that had started to rise from the temple floor, sank back down, its evil glow fading. The ending wasn't a big celebration, but a quiet return to normal. The azure falls thawed, and life returned to Viridian. The Obsidian Cabal, with their leader beaten and their hidden network revealed by Alara, faded into the shadows. Kaylin, no longer just a clever thief, became a protector. The celestial compass, its light now soft and steady, stayed with her. She didn't join the Aether Weavers. Her path was her own, an independent force for balance. She kept exploring the world, guided by the compass, finding hidden truths, and gently rebalancing the elemental energies that sometimes became unstable. The mystery of her grandfather was solved, not by seeing him again, but by understanding his sacrifice and her own family's duty. Viridian had been saved from the breaking, and the world had a new, if unusual, starseer, walking a path of quiet watchfulness, always ready for the next hint of elemental trouble. If you like this story, please hit the like button and subscribe for more.